What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a really good one today, and it's one that is super controversial, and I really like covering controversial topics, but it's really freaking important. And no matter the stage of your life, I think it's really important to understand the truth about the education system, because it probably has a lot to do with where you're at in life. And I'm not just here to bash on it. There's actually a lot of really good things about it, but I want to show you from my experience and what I've seen with a few hundred other people, basically the good, the bad, the ugly. That way you can kind of see for yourself and hopefully make a change. That way you're not stuck based on your experience that you had there, and you have other options. I'm going to give you not only the truth about it, but I'm going to show you how you can actually do something about where you're at in life. That way you don't have to just think back to it if you're in debt, if you didn't learn what you wanted to learn. I'll show you alternatives. That way you have that as an option. So with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel because it's getting really fun. Make sure you follow along, comment below. Let me know any topics that you want me to cover. That way I can give you new content. I'm pushing it out daily. I'll probably keep this up for another month until I get a lot of videos. And I'll probably do once a week as I get busier and busier and busier with my businesses. So before we get into this, I'll give you a real quick background on myself and the experience that I've had with the education system. I went to a private school when I was growing up, kindergarten through 8th grade. And then I went to a public high school, and then from there I went to Washington State University, where I attended there for about a year and a half. Then I dropped out. And that's where I see I have a pretty unique perspective on this, because I dropped out. I have friends that finished college. I have friends that went on to do their master's, their doctorate, whatever it is. I like to really just take time to assess rather than just jump to conclusions. Just because people say a path is the right way, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is. You need to make your own decisions. You're a human being who has your own freaking free choice. So use your free will, use your choice, and let's get more into this. So I don't know about you, but where I went to school when I was growing up, literally every single time, any class, any age, any grade, it was get into class, sit down, and shut up, and basically just listen to a professor, a teacher, whatever it is, talk. And if you were talking with your neighbors, if you were collaborating with your neighbors, if you were working together in any way, you actually get in trouble, and it's not encouraged, right? So that was always really interesting, and I don't know about you too, I'm a little bit older than maybe some of you that are watching this, but we weren't even allowed to use calculators. So on our phones, we weren't allowed to do that in math classes. They were well, pretend that you have no calculator. But it's what world are we living in to where we don't have our phones nowadays, right? So they're teaching us to be absent from free thinking. They're teaching us to basically come in, sit down, listen to something, and then basically do an assignment on that, and make sure you don't use any other resources, don't use any creativity, only use yourself. Which is just ridiculous. Think about anything. Even if you're in a job right now, literally all of your projects that you probably have, you have a team, you have a sales team, you have a marketing team, a care team, literally any company out there has teams. And the sure way for a company to not be successful is to think that everyone has to be an individual. So it's really strange how we literally were told, sit down, shut up, and don't collaborate. So right there in itself, one of the sole things that everyone shares is a major flaw. And I think that this is a big reason that people are really lost when they get out of college. Because what are you supposed to do now? People are scary, strangers are scary, right? We're not supposed to talk to other people. Where the only way to be successful and the only way to move forward in a job, in a career, in anything, is to have conversations with strangers. When we were, where this thing first created, sit down and shut up, that was also in an era where it was also don't talk to strangers, but now we're getting into strangers' cars for transportation, with Uber, right? So that's where it's so strange, because literally the entire way that we were grown up is no longer valid, okay? So that's the first thing that I'll say. The next thing, I'll actually jump to number 3, it is that in the 1950s is actually when the education system was really formed officially. That was when they created free education. Everyone should be able to have the right to educate. And since the 1950s, everything has progressed. You know, the internet, the dot-com bubble back in 2000 when everything just blew up. Like now AI, now there's coding. Like there's so much change that goes on. Like in a year, everything changes. But the only thing that's not changed is the curriculum for schools, universities, everything. And the way that people are learning is not even interactive. Maybe in other countries, in the United States is where my personal experience is. And like literally nothing's changed. Like I have a little cousin where I'll see their assignments and it's like the same old crap that I was learning when I was like second, fourth grade, whatever it is. And it just blows my mind because like literally everything out there is progressing forward except for this one thing. And that's why I get so passionate about it, is because like had I learned in a different way growing up, had I recognized earlier what I wanted, I'd be like 10 times even further than I am, and I'm sure you would as well. And once again, school's not a bad thing. There's a lot of pros as well. However, these are some of the main flaws, and these are some of the things that you just want to start questioning if you're in school now, if you just graduated, or if you're looking at going back to school. Like, just look at all the information. Look at the pros and look at the cons. That way you can assess for yourself if it is a good move. Next. This is the thing that like blows my freaking mind, okay? So the debt to income ratio when it comes to student loan debt, like you literally get loans $20, $40, $60,000 a year, like that, to go to school. And like I think the average income for someone with a master's degree is like $75,000 a year. And I don't know where you live, I don't know what you do with your money, but who the hell can pay back hundreds of thousands of dollars with a $75,000 a year income? Even if it's even paying back $50,000. That puts you back 10 years of payments, 5 years of payments, if you're making like $50,000 to $100,000 a year. And forget about you doing anything extra for yourself to have fulfillment in life, which is vacations, happiness, hanging out with your significant other, whatever it is. There's literally nothing in the entire world that makes less sense than the amount of debt that you go into with school. And like if you did get college for free, or if your parents paid for it, that's great. But like this is primarily for people that are actually like taking out freaking loans. It is mad. Look at even when you start a business, how much harder it is to get a loan. They're just throwing it out there because they know that if you do this, you're going to go to a job and they're going to get payments on it because you're going to have a steady job and a steady income of $50,000. You're making minimum payments and they are making interest on your money, okay? It is just the worst thing ever. So if you can't afford it, if you're pulling out more loans, make sure that at least what you're doing, there's going to be a high income reward. An example would be if you're going to med school, if you're trying to be a doctor, a dentist, something specialized like an attorney. Yeah, obviously you have to go to extended amounts of school for that. And that's where school makes a lot of sense because you're actually doing the work that you're going to be doing at your job. Strange, right? Instead of learning different courses, instead of learning just a bunch of different subjects that really don't play into your career, like you're actually learning what you're doing in your career, which makes a lot more sense. Wouldn't you agree? So from there, what I kind of have seen is that this is pushing everyone out to basically be an employee and not a free thinker. Everything that we've talked about up to this point is basically pushing anyone that goes through the education system and does not take in any outside information to just be an employee. Which, if that's all that you want out of life, that's totally fine. You can be totally fulfilled and happy as an employee. However, the fact that we're not shown other options, we're not shown what there actually is out there, like it's kind of like this weird bubble where you just don't even see what the other options are. It's crazy, right? Like you see someone that had, like, I'll give you an example. Like when I was growing up, I would literally see someone with a BMW and have like a nice house, and I would be like, wow, he must make $100,000 a year. That is the pinnacle of success. And for a lot of people, $100,000 is a step up from $30,000. I totally agree. But like, that shouldn't be the end goal. There's always a way up. There's always more value that you can put into the market, always more ways to impact more people and bring more fulfillment to your life. So I just am trying to say, really, the point of this video is, it's not that education as itself is bad More importantly, it is that we're not shown the full picture. Imagine it's just like you're getting shown like one piece of the puzzle. And now this is probably like the one that like speaks most to me. And this is what I really want you to think about moving forward in anything that you learn. You want to learn from people that are doing what you want to do, right? And this is the one that like really irks me, okay? So who are you really learning from? Have you ever asked yourself that? Like, you're learning from teachers, yeah, professors, yeah. But like, why are you learning from them? What makes them qualified? Is it a certificate? Is it a curriculum that they have to go through? Like, think about anything else in the world that you do that you want to learn from someone. A perfect example is like a personal trainer. When you choose the trainer you work with, I look for someone who has my similar body type, someone that's lean and wants to add muscle. It depends on your body type, right? Like, you want to find someone who has a similar body type, they went through some transformation, and they got the outcome that you want. That is what learning is. You want to learn from the person that actually did it themselves. So when I was in university, right, I literally was trying to study business, and the first year and a half, 2 years of school are just the prereqs, which is like totally ridiculous. And even when you do start learning from the professors about entrepreneurship or about business, it's conceptual. It's not even about real entrepreneurship. They literally have never run businesses themselves, or else they wouldn't be a freaking professor. So what I'm trying to say, it's like, why is that the only option? I'm here to tell you it's not the only option. Go online courses. Like, you can get anything that you want to learn from a university online now. We live in 2020, not freaking 1950. Now, in the marketplace, like, there's more and more companies even that are not requiring bachelor degrees because they're realizing how outdated this is. So based on whatever your life picture is, whatever your life plan is, what you want to do in the next 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever, just make sure that if you're going to college, if you're going to school, like, that aligns perfectly with it. And while you're in school, try and learn other things that are going to make you more equipped for the real world. You know, like how to do your taxes, how to make money on the side, what's a side hustle, how can I make an extra $100,000 a year? How can I travel for free? There's so much out there. Just make sure that you are not 100% closed off due to the education system, because that is the bubble that most people live in. And I want to do everything that I can to show you that there are other options out there. Doesn't mean drop out of college, doesn't mean anything extreme like that. What I am saying is that I want you to expand your horizons and actually look at people that you want to be like in life. Find a mentor, find someone that you can confide in and ask questions and learn how they got to where they're at. Was college part of that game plan? If it was, great, do that. If it wasn't, okay, don't do that. It's that simple. So don't think that college is the only option. Hope this video helped. Love you guys, and see you in the next one.